Coming to you from I'm not excited enough. Woo! State basketball. That's how they got me feeling this morning. Got me feeling good. For the first time in a long time, Mississippi State basketball has me feeling really good, really excited to come in and do this stupid little show that you guys demand I do every single day. Terp, you told me you weren't going to be here. You lied. You told me you weren't going to be here. And you're here.
I changed my mind this morning.
You are going to...
That's how much I care about the show.
Going to go spend the weekend in New York, huh?
Yes.
Oh, well, I hope you stay there.
Anyway.
Huh?
I said I hope I do too.
Okay.
Maybe I just got a one-way ticket.
Hello, Michael Clyburn. Hello, Brian Sisk. Jay Page in Cincinnati, Ohio. Courtney Leanne Walker in Point City saying Hail State. Again, Point City Walker, not related to me. Hail State from the Mississippi State Gainesville, Florida campus. Yes. Why are you so angry, says Matt Weisinger. Am I angry? No. No, I'm quite happy. I'm very happy. I'm excited. I'm ecstatic to come to you today in the wake of a road win for Mississippi State men's basketball. Big time win. All of a sudden, State's 16-6. They're 4-5 in the SEC with 2 home games coming up. Went from 12th in the SEC a couple days ago. Now they're all of a sudden up to 6th in the SEC. Good things are happening. Good things for Mississippi State men's basketball. It was just an impressive win. And I wasn't all that positive yesterday, but I was kind of positive. I was saying, I think this team's close to turning around, closer than we think. And they went out and proved it. Hello, Ringgold, Georgia, up there in the northwest corner. Hello, Prattville, Alabama. Pat Waldron Campbell, Prattville, home of Matt Wyatt, I believe. On today's show, we'll talk about that basketball win. Well, it was a great win. Very good win. It was great to see the team stay composed in the wake of really wretched officiating. Great to see the team stay composed despite, they did try to give it away. They had a couple of bad possessions at the end, but Eric Holman stepped up to that line and hit a couple of free throws. Big time effort. Hello, Jay Hammers. Hello, Josh Lack in Arlington, Tennessee. Chris Van Zant from the roads of Mississippi. Hello from Roseburg, Oregon, says Tim Franks. Really? You're in Roseburg, Oregon? Tim Franks, are you somewhere different every day? I feel like you make up a new place every day. Kingsport, Tennessee, Richard Riff, or Richard Rife, I can't remember, sorry. Hello, Blair Chandler. Chris Van Zant says NIT at best. I don't think that's a bad... Yeah, maybe. But still, NIT is a step in the right direction. NIT is a step in the definite right direction. And while I would put it at less than 10%, you can't rule out making a run to get on the NCAA tournament bubble. You can't rule it out. Maroon and white, Antoine Armstead. Tim Franks, oh, okay, you're driving a truck. Wow, well, you really drive a cross-country truck if you're out in Oregon. Sounds beautiful, though. I'm back. Possum Town, says Stan C. Riddle. Maroon and white, says Antoine Armstead. Good to have everybody here. Yeah, that was a great win. Just felt good. I was nervous. I was terrified. Because it was just, we've seen this movie before where State plays very, very well, and then at the end it just goes away. But this team is, they're battling. Every game out that they have a little bit, they played 30 good minutes, and then 32 good minutes, and 34 good minutes. They're getting better every time out. That's why I think that the last 9 games can really see an improvement here. We'll talk about it. How about the war of words between the ADs at South Carolina and Missouri, said Jay Hammers. Yeah, they're really getting into it. The AD at Missouri says Dawn Staley promoted an atmosphere that led to things that happened last week, and the AD at South Carolina is not having it. Meanwhile, State's just up there undefeated and hoping to cruise past both of them the next couple of games. Offense is coming around. I'll talk about that. Troy Harper. Michael Clyburn says, hey, Brandon, you need to tell B.A. from SEC Country Show to stop downing our team every chance he gets. I will do that. Can somebody go get B.A. so I can tell him?
Yeah,
he's right behind me.
Should I bring him in? He has duel on air.
Would he be horrified if I did that?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, we won't do that. He's right behind me. He's about 7 feet behind me. He's not far behind me at all. He's just, there's a wall. Hail State from Liberty, Mississippi. Shout out to Miss K's home plate in Liberty. I still haven't worn my shirt. I got my shirt, Burnell. I got it. I'm going to wear it. I'll wear it next week. Jay Robertson says, so happy we won. Tired of saying we could have won that one. Me too, buddy. Me too. Jay Hammer says, I thought Terp was out today. Yeah, I did too. He made a promise he did not keep. And that's BS. We keep our promises around here. Berate him. Oh, no, I can't berate BA. Can't. Yeah, there's some rank there. So, maybe I'll have him on the show one day, and he'll have to stand and be judged for his sins. All right. How you guys doing in there? You ready? Shrekking Crew? You ready?
I don't like that name.
You don't like the Shrekking
rather
Crew?
just
I
be
thought
the-
you loved the Shrekking Crew.
I'd rather be the wrecking crew.
But that doesn't work. Y'all don't wreck anything except for the show every single day.
So why are we still here?
Good question. I thought you weren't going to be here.
Yeah,
I promised her a tryout to where we would never bring you back.
I won't be here Monday. Facts. Unless you want to call me,
I'm not gonna call
be
you.
on the phone.
Nobody.
guest.
There's nobody ever sitting anywhere in the world that says, "Ooh, I got to call Terp." Not gonna happen. Jeremiah Body from Byram. Hopefully, I'm becoming a regular. I think you are. I've seen you several times. How many regulars would you say we have? A bunch. Right?
13.
No, you got way more than 13. Matt Weisinger's a regular. Kevin Wright's a regular. Burnell's a regular.
Over under 30.
I'd say over.
Really?
Yeah,
That you see every day?
that I see every single day. I'd say over.
Uh,
I mean, I haven't talked to Bonnie, Michael Clyburn, Chad Mask,
can you name 30?
Steve C. If I don't know if I can name them right now. Tim White, Junior Ray. Yeah, I think definitely there's at least 30 regular.
All right.
Fascinating discussion right here on the show. So we'll talk basketball, then we'll talk recruiting, then we will talk women's basketball tonight. Huge game against Missouri, and we'll talk about today's top 5. The top 5 professional athletes to ever come out of Mississippi State University. The top 5 professional athletes to ever come out of Mississippi State University. My stream stopped out here, Terp. We good? It says live video interrupted. We okay?
Checking it right now. Mine said the same thing. No, I think I'm good.
You think you're good?
Yeah, refresh it.
Refresh it.
Yeah, I'm good.
Everybody out there, give me a thumbs up if you're okay. If the stream is okay, give me a thumbs up, and then we'll start this podcast. Boy, we're running late. Let's get this straight. Every Monday, Thursday, starting at 9:45. I'm not getting any video out here.
Yeah, I think something's going on.
So, what we gotta do? What we doing?
I don't even know if we're on air right now. It keeps refreshing to the Shrecking Crew comment.
I got thumbs up. I got some thumbs up out here though. I got a bunch of people saying they're good.
Mine keeps interrupting. It may be this Wi-Fi.
So I'm not getting the video, but I'm getting the comments. So I think we're okay.
What's up, fams?
Everybody's giving me thumbs up.
I mean, according to our Wirecast says it's going.
We're live. We're good. We're good. Tennessee Ambrose gives me a couple of these. So I think we're good. This is, it's our professionalism that sets us apart. We're good. Okay, we're good. We're good. Well, everybody shut up. And let's do the podcast. Hit my music.
The More Cowbell Show, brought to you by SEC Country. And now, your host of the More Cowbell Show, Brandon Walker.
That's me, More Cowbell, the Mississippi State Podcast. Means the show is starting. The Mississippi State Podcast presented by SEC Country. And not only does that mean the show is starting, that means Mississippi State basketball. Let me try to be professional here. Let me be very unbiased. Woo! Mississippi State basketball goes on the road to South Carolina and gets a big win. Thank goodness. Yes, I like it. I'm very excited about this. I've been waiting for this for a long time. It's been 7 years since we've seen any life from this team, and we knew it was coming. We got teased a couple of times. Now, I don't know if we've turned the corner or not, but going on the road and winning this game and putting some positive momentum in the bank means a lot. Coming home now with 2 home games, Georgia and Alabama, they're very winnable. Going down the stretch, a very winnable stretch of games coming up. It feels like this is real this time. Does that mean State's going to the NCAA tournament? Probably not. But it means we are becoming a better version of what we've been. We'll talk about it. I'm getting too far ahead of myself. We'll also talk about, on today's show, recruiting. We are less than a week from signing day, and it is the quietest lead up to signing day in the history of Mississippi State football. There's just not much going on. There is not much going on with recruiting. Not a lot of information out there. Not a lot of positive momentum. What do we make of that? We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about women's basketball. Speaking of awesome, 22-0, trying to go 23-0 against Missouri and basically put a stranglehold on the Southeastern Conference race. That's what the women are trying to do tonight. And today's top 5, the top 5 professional athletes to ever come out of Mississippi State University, in my opinion. In my opinion. That is very clear here. So on Facebook Live, you can tell me your opinion, and we'll talk about it. But I have a list of the top 5 professional athletes to ever come out of Mississippi State University. And could I have forgotten somebody? Probably. We'll get to that list later. Right now, let's focus on basketball because I think this team deserves it. I don't get into the beat writers or the other writers, everybody saying, oh, you better come out and support this team. You better come out and do this. They're not going to be able to do anything if you don't support them. But I will say this, 5 o'clock Saturday against Georgia feels like the first really important game in the Humphrey Coliseum in a long time, and I know our fan base will treat it as such. I know our fan base will be there and be vocal and be excited. You never have to tell fans to come out and support a team. You never have to tell fans to be there. When it matters, when fans feel like they're going to get something for their money, they're going to show up. And they're going to show up this Saturday when we play Georgia in the Humphrey Coliseum, and they're going to show up when we play Alabama. If you win these 2 games, all of a sudden you've won 3, 4 in a row. All of a sudden you've gone from the basement of the SEC into the mix of postseason play. So State goes to South Carolina yesterday and wins, scores 81 points, wins the game 81-76. Beats South Carolina on the road. Now, South Carolina, are they an NCAA tournament team? No. But every team, I've talked about this on the show before, Auburn has kind of separated itself at the top. Vanderbilt has separated itself at the bottom. But from 2 to 13, the SEC is incredibly, incredibly competitive and even, and every game is a war. That means road games are like gold in this league. We had already given up a home game by losing to Auburn, so we had to balance it out at some point, and we did. State goes and scores 81 points against a team who's second in the league and giving up 66 points a game. Second to who? Mississippi State University. The offense is going in the right direction. Scoring 81 against South Carolina is a very, very positive sign. The defense is already there. Scoring 81 against South Carolina on the road is a big deal. 17 from Nick Weatherspoon, 18 from Quindary Weatherspoon, 16 from Abdul Ado. Ado, I don't know. I can never my mind just tricks me. Abdul Ado. And that's big time. If you get 16 from that guy, if you're getting that much positive production down low, all of a sudden it changes the team. And Nick Weatherspoon, if you're getting 17 from a freshman, he's already one of your best defensive players as a freshman. But if you're getting 17 from him, you know you're going to get it from Q. 35 from the Weatherspoon brothers is special. Nick Weatherspoon is the most talented player on this team. He is the most talented player we have. Quindary Weatherspoon is currently our best player. When they're going good, suddenly we're a pretty good basketball team. What I liked the most out of this team last night, other than just the win itself, they kept their composure when the situation said maybe they had an excuse to not keep their composure. They faced a ridiculous whistle. It was an ineptly, pathetically officiated basketball game, as A lot of them are in college basketball these days. The state of college basketball officiating, not good. South Carolina, a physical team, got called for 14 fouls. Mississippi State got called for 24 fouls. That's despite the fact that South Carolina even committed a couple late just to try to send us to the free throw line. So theirs was inflated artificially. They basically got called for half the fouls Mississippi State did. And yet still, State kept their composure, never let it bother them. I let it bother me. I was bothered as hell in my living room. And I know in your living room, you were bothered too. But the team did not get bothered. They didn't get rattled. That says something to do on the road. We're 16-6. We're 4-5. Seems like an up and down season so far. But really, we don't have that many losses that you look back on and say, well, we shouldn't have lost that game. Losing at Ole Miss, there's no shame in it. The way we lost, that's where the problem comes in, because we should have won that game. But losing to Auburn, they're going to win the SEC. We don't really have any losses that are head-scratching yet. 16-6, 4-5. We're 6th in the SEC. We're right there on the cusp of being in the mix. I think we're an NIT team today. I definitely think that. And let me be careful with what I say, because some people are going to say, oh, you're just a raging homer. You're just whatever. You cannot rule out, maybe it's a 5% chance, that State gets onto the NCAA bubble. You can't rule it out. And the reason I say that, and I think we're going to be in the NIT. That's my prediction. But the opportunity to play yourself onto the NIT bubble or the NCAA bubble is there. You got 9 games left. And the second half of this SEC schedule is 100 times friendlier than the first half. You don't have to play Auburn. You don't have to play Kentucky. You don't have to play Florida. Your home games are all winnable. Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss. Tennessee is the one that, a little rough. South Carolina again at home. Those you can win all of those games. And then on the road, you just won a game, and you still have trips to Baton Rouge. LSU's a mess right now. Vanderbilt, the worst team in the league. And Missouri, it would just beat at home. Texas A&M, I don't think we can beat them on the road, but 8 of the 9 remaining games are very, very, very winnable. Now, we're not going to go 8-1, but could we go 6-3? Maybe. Maybe. And if you do that, if you go 6-3, all of a sudden you're 22-9. And you've got a winning record in the SEC. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. Probably not. I think we're going to be in that 21-10 range, 21-11, whatever the numbers add up to. I think we're going to be a middle of the pack SEC team at the end of this thing. But it feels good to even be talking about it. And I think let's see, we're 4-5 now. If we end up, we go 5-4 in the last 9, we end up 500, I think we're a solid NIT team, because the SEC has a lot of credibility nationally this year. But look at the next 2 games. We're 4-5 right now. We're 16-6. Can we beat Georgia at home? Yes. Can we beat Alabama at home? Yes. If you do that, all of a sudden you're 18-6 and 6-5 in the SEC. And the season looks much different than it looked a week ago. Momentum is a very, very valuable thing, and winning on the road gives it to you. Winning at home the other day was nice, but winning on the road means 2 in a row, and all of a sudden you have momentum. And with a young team with momentum on their side, I just like where they're at. I like where they're at. 5 of these last 6 games or 5 of these last 5 of these last 9 games are at home. They're all winnable. 4 are on the road. 3 of them are winnable. I don't know if we're turning the corner. I don't know that. You got to do it for more than 2 games to prove that. But if you look at it at Kentucky, we played well for 35 minutes. At Alabama, we played extremely well in the second half. We showed signs, and now we're starting to put it together for a whole game. So I don't know if we're turning the corner, but I think we have our blinker on. I think we're at least getting in the turn lane. Now, I said all that. I'm very excited about basketball. I don't know what to think about recruiting. I don't know what to think. I mean, it changes daily. It's a weird spot Mississippi State's in. So much has happened since the last game of the season. You change coaches. You already have your early signing day, and you put a lot of good players in the program. You fix your receiver position. You get your quarterback of the future. You get Marcus Murphy, who I think is the best guy we signed. You have all of these good things happening, but now we have a February 7th signing day where we got to kind of finish up. Kind of got to wrap up the loose ends. And I'm not sure I've seen any loose ends to be wrapped up yet. We haven't really made any momentum for ourselves on the recruiting trail, kind of limping to the finish, it seems like. And with the new coach, I don't see a whole lot of information out there. I don't see a whole lot of information going to the recruiting writers because I don't think they've got their sources yet. So State fans are just kind of sitting there coming to their own conclusions. You got the ones who want to panic, they're going to panic. You got the ones who want to be okay, they're going to be okay. But it's just not a lot out there right now. 6 days from recruiting, from signing day, and I don't know who State's going to sign. I feel like they're going to sign Fabian Levitt. I feel like they're going to sign Esias Furge. I feel like they're going to sign Nathaniel Watson. They've already lost, Miles Mason. They already lost the offensive lineman out of Georgia, Griffin McDowell, who's going down to disappoint Florida fans. So you've got all these guys. I don't mean that about Griffin McDowell. I mean that about John Hevesy. Sorry. You got all these guys, and there's just not a lot of concrete stuff out there. This has been the strangest finish to a recruiting season I can ever remember. There's just no buzz at all for Mississippi State. And when there's no buzz at all, when there's no positive buzz, a lot of the fans get restless about recruiting. Will State sign Fabian Levitt? I don't know. Will they sign a miracle offensive lineman they find somewhere? I don't know. You'll have a segment of the fan base that'll panic on Moorhead if we don't come out strong on signing day. And they'll think this staff can't recruit. They'll think this coach can't recruit. But that's just the group that's going to panic about recruiting every year. They've done it. They did it every year under Mullen. We still believe and say that Mullen couldn't recruit. But you look up, and State's got, in 2018, maybe the second or third most talented team in the SEC. So somebody was recruiting somewhere. I guess my message in all of this is relax. We haven't finished in the top 20 in the last 3 or 4 years, and we have one of the best teams in the SEC, if not the country, in 2018. We're going to be okay. It doesn't feel good. I'm going to be honest. I'm looking for positives. I'm looking for something to grab onto. But I'm going to trust the coaches will fix it. This was a half recruiting season. They did a good job in the early signing period, probably better than they're given credit for. They signed Devontae Jason. Mullen didn't do that. Devontae Jason, one of the best receivers we've ever signed at Mississippi State. They kept Malik Heath, kept Marcus Murphy. So now, but this February 7th signing day is just, it's weird. Maybe in 6 days we'll talk about what a triumph it is. Maybe we'll talk about what a disaster it is. But right now, it just seems like a mystery. Opportunity knocking for the women's basketball program. Not only can they go to Missouri and get a top 15 win on the road, but if they do that, if they win tonight, they begin to put the SEC race in a stranglehold. They go ahead and tell the rest of the SEC it's us and everybody else. It feels like that already. But if they beat Missouri and South Carolina back-to-back, that's it. Turn the lights off. Cancel Christmas. It's over. Really feeling good about basketball right now. The men coming on board and winning that game last night, and now the women with a huge game tonight. Good things happening at Mississippi State. Let me tell you another thing I loved last night. SEC Now, or whatever they call their wrap-up show after the end of the game, they go right back to Ben Howland and they interview him. And you can say what you want about Ben Howland. Should we have been further along in year 3? I don't know the answer to that question, but that's a first-class guy that knows how to represent himself and his university. They ask him, what was it like to win the game? And he says, well, first of all, let me rephrase that. They asked him, how can Mississippi State, as you build this program, is this a big win? He says, well, yeah, it's a big win in building the program, but you got to look back the last quarter century. Guys like Richard Williams, Rick Stansberry won here, and he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to give credit to Richard Williams or Rick Stansberry or all the great basketball we've had in the past, but he did. And what I like more than that, he said on the other side, you've got Vic Schaefer with the best basketball program in the country. He didn't say best women's basketball program in the country. He said the best basketball program in the country. And I don't know, was he throwing shade at UConn? Was he throwing shade at anybody? Probably not. He was just saying Vic Schaefer has shown us how to do it. And we're just trying to follow his lead. That is a class thing for Ben Howland to do last night. I thought that was awesome. Today's top 5. The top 5 pro athletes that ever came through Mississippi State University. Now, you might have your opinion. You might have your top 5 pro athletes. I turn it over to Facebook Live. What do you guys think? Because certainly there have been some good pro athletes coming out of Mississippi State. And you might have a different list than me, and you might have it in a different order. But this is my list. And when I look at the numbers, when I look at the guys I've lived through, when I look at all that, this is the list I come up with as the top 5. And somebody on Facebook Live already said Dak. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, no current guys are on this list. Fletcher Cox, Dak. This is more an all-time list. Can Fletcher Cox should be on the list now. Dak certainly will be on the list in the future. But as of now, this is just kind of a past list. And Darius Slay not on it. Jay Hammers on Facebook Live says this is going to start a massive debate. I hope so. I certainly hope so. Chris Van Zant says it'll be heavy on baseball. 2 of the 5 are baseball. 2 of the 5. Now let's do honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. Jonathan Papelbon did not make the list. Good pro career. Well, great pro career. But fell short. Jeff Brantley didn't make the list. Longtime NBA player Jeff Malone did not make the list. Eric Dampier, who had a 15-year NBA career, did not make the list. So here's the list. We have 2 football, we have 2 baseball, and we have 1 basketball. Number 5, Eric Moulds, 3-time Pro Bowler, the all-time leader of receptions in Buffalo Bills history, was a tremendous player for a decade. During the stretch that he was the number 1 receiver for the Bills, I think he had the 3rd most receptions in the NFL at the time. That's 98 to 2005. Eric Moulds is number 5. He was excellent. I think people look back. We underrate Eric Moulds now. We definitely underrate Eric Moulds as Mississippi State fans. We kind of, in 2018, don't give him credit for how good he was, not only in college but also in the pros. He was a dynamic college player and an incredible pro player. Eric Moulds, number 5. Number 4, Will Clark. 6-time All-Star, National League Championship Series MVP. Again, one of the faces of baseball from about 1987 to 92. Now, his career didn't end all that well because, hey, unlike the steroid guys, he got injured. But when he was at his best, he was among the best players in baseball. He was, in 1988, 1989, 1990, he was one of the top 5 players in all of Major League Baseball. Will Clark is my number 4, and I don't have to tell you. I've already told you many times on this show, he is my favorite Mississippi State athlete ever. I mean, he's the guy when I was a kid that was the guy that was on all my T-shirts, that was on all my hats, that was on all my posters. But Will Clark, number 4 to me as far as professional athletes from Mississippi State University. Number 3, back to football, Kent Hall. Kent Hall from, I don't know where Kent's from in Mississippi. Is he from Greenwood? I think he's from Greenwood. Kent Hall from Mississippi, played at Mississippi State, obviously 4-time Pro Bowler, 4 times in the Super Bowl, a 7-time team captain, a Buffalo Bills Hall of Famer, a Mississippi Sports Hall of Famer, should be an NFL Football Hall of Famer. There is a movement in Buffalo to make that happen. Kent Hall has unfortunately passed away, but Kent Hall was a rock on one of the best teams in the NFL in the early 90s. They never won the Super Bowl, but Kent Hall was a big difference maker. He was one of their best players, and they had a lot of great players. Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, all of those guys. That was an incredible team, and Kent Hall was right there with him. He was very, very important. Number 2, back to baseball. We have a building with his name on it. Rafael Palmeiro. Talk about a career that didn't end the right way. And I don't know what Rafael Palmeiro did. I don't really care. But if you look at his pro career, the guy had over 500 home runs. He had over 3,000 hits. He has the scandal that bothers him, that plagues him to this day. But without the scandal, his numbers are Hall of Fame numbers. We can talk about whether he got it the right way. I don't know. I don't care. Rafael Palmeiro had an incredible career. An incredible career at Mississippi State and then in the pros. And numbers-wise, he is number 2 all time. to me. And number 1, I'll let you guys wonder. Somebody says Fred Smoot should be on the list. And no, Fred Smoot, to me, didn't make the list. He was okay for a while, but didn't really have that long of a pro career. I think Walt Harris had a better career than Fred Smoot. But number 1, talk about a guy that I think is underrated these days by our fans, by me. Bailey Howell is a basketball Hall of Famer. He's not a Mississippi Hall of Famer. He's not a Starkville, Mississippi Hall of Famer. Although he is all those things, he is in the Basketball Hall of Fame for what he did in professional basketball. Bailey Howell was one of the best players of the 1960s. You don't talk about him a lot. People don't talk about him. He was a 6-time All-Star, a Hall of Famer. He averaged 18 points per game for his entire career. His high was 23 points a game. He never averaged less than double figures. He was always good. He won championships at Boston. He's a Hall of Famer. He's the greatest basketball player in Mississippi State basketball history, and he is the greatest professional athlete Mississippi State University ever produced. Come at me. That's my list. I see some people saying D.D. Lewis on here, and that's fine. You can say anybody you'd want, but that's my list. Again, number 5, Eric Moulds. Number 4, Will Clark. Number 3, Kent Hall. Number 2, Rafael Palmeiro. Number 1, Bailey Howell, Basketball Hall of Famer. You can come at me about my list on Twitter at @bwalker_SEC, or you can join us on Facebook Live every single day. 10:40. Well, I say every single day, Monday through Thursday, and we're going to start doing a Friday show soon. Terp has bothered me, and he said he has challenged me to do Friday, so we're going to start doing Monday through Friday. So we'll do it very, very soon. But until next time, my name is Brandon Walker, and you've been listening to More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country. Hey, man. Somebody said, Glenn Duncan says, Brandon, for once you're right. That's not nice, Glenn Duncan. Top Gun was on last night. It was on Stars. I watched a little bit of it, fell asleep. It looks like all of our sports are trending up, says Michael Clyburn. Yeah, I think they are. Well, really, I think they are. Women's basketball, one of the best in the country. Baseball on the way to that. Football, one of the best in the country next year. And basketball is starting to build back, starting to get there. When Eric Moulds is number 5, that's a very special list, says Jay Hammers. I think so. And the guys I had honorable mention, I can't remember. Papelbon, I mean, he could make a top 5 list. You could make an argument for him. World Series champion, multiple-time All-Star. Jeff Malone, long career, good career with the Bullets and the Jazz. Eric Dampier, NBA champion, 2-time NBA champion. Jeff Brantley. I mean, we've had some good pro players. Started watching late. New football helmet. Landon, I've had that helmet for about 2 weeks now. About
Aprox.
About 2 weeks? What?
Yes.
You don't know. You don't pay attention.
Nope.
You did okay, but ended strong with Bailey, said Danny Carl. So some people are saying Darrell Wilson, Wayne Mackin. All right, the list was, I didn't clear up the list after I said it first. The list was top 5 pro athletes in the history of Mississippi State University. Not college, just the pro athletes. The top 5 pro athletes State ever produced. Charlie Jones says, just like I said earlier this week, a New Year's Six Bowl, a Sweet 16, and College World Series. It will happen next year. Watch. Well, that'd be really nice. That would definitely be nice. I don't know if I believe the Sweet 16, but I definitely think a New Year's Six Bowl could happen. And College World Series, I think Cannizzaro's about to get us to a point where we expect to probably make it more years than not. Eric Moulds, a possible Hall of Famer if he A, had a good quarterback in Buffalo, or B, not played in Buffalo weather. His best quarterback was Flutie. Kenny Manning says Johnny Cooks. So Johnny Cooks was okay. I mean, had a good career, but I don't think he had a great career. I mean, he was number 2 pick in the draft. That's probably his biggest claim to fame, and he was good. I don't think he makes this list, though. Anybody I missed? I feel like there's somebody out there I missed. And let's be honest. If I included current guys, Fletcher Cox probably needs to make that list. Dak Prescott has a spot reserved on that list. There's a chance Darius Slay makes that list one day. He's an All-Pro right now. There's a chance Gabe Jackson makes that list. Again, it's the golden age of state players in the NFL. We talked about that the other day. How are we doing in pro baseball right now? We got Hunter Renfroe, Chris Stratton. I think he's going to have a spot this year. I know I'm missing somebody. Brent Rooker's on his way. He'll be there in a couple of years. What about Bobby Thigpen to go along with Palmeiro and Clark? Thunder, lightning, and rain, says Kay Anderson. Thigpen I thought about. I mean, he had the record for saves in a season for a while, but he didn't stay very long. He had a very short career. So I just don't think he makes it in the top 5 list. He might make it in the top 10, but not the top 5. Fred Smoot, I don't think Smoot's career was top 5. I think Walt Harris, who was in the league at the same time, had a better career at cornerback than Fred Smoot did. Dak has the number 1 selling jersey in the NFL. Yes, he does, Landon Miles, despite Terp not knowing that.
Carson Wentz.
I sent you the story yesterday. Your information is wrong. You went by NFL Shop. That's one store.
Yeah.
That's one store.
Okay. So their numbers
across the spectrum, Dak Prescott has the number 1 selling jersey in the NFL. No, you don't. It's not a I don't know. I sent you the story with the
NFL
information.
Shop.
It is a fact.
NFL Shop has him at number 3.
NFL Shop is one store. That's like saying Coke is the most. Well, first of all, Coke is. All right, that's like saying, Boo Boo Root Beer is the number 1 because this gas station sells the most. Well, that's just one store. And don't drink Boo Boo Root Beer. Don't drink Boo Boo.
That exists.
Well, it could. We could make it.
Oh, let's do it.
We could make it. I think you miss Walt Harris more as an honorable mention for the length of his career. Smoot gets honorable mention for the best smack talker of all time, says Tim Doss. I like to think I'm the best smack talker of all time. No, nothing? Okay. Pamela Hilliard says, hush Terp. I agree. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You told people you weren't going to be here. People look forward to it.
Oh, hey, I won't be here Monday. For sure.
Terp, you need a vacation. He's going on vacation.
That's where I'm going in about 10 minutes.
He's getting on a plane and going to New York City, huh? That's about right. I think you missed Matt Wyatt. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. We get to see what Joe Moorhead's recruiting skill is 2019. Yeah, we do. That's when you can judge his recruiting skills. Somebody asked me about DL recruiting. I think Fabian Lovett's still on the board. I think we can still get there. How are we looking at OL recruits? Don't look, Michael Wright, on the offensive line. It's not looking good. But defensive line, if we can close with Fabian Lovett, we're in good shape. Allen got excited last night. He hollered in the dressing room like you did to start the show today. He did. I like that. I saw that on Twitter. I liked Allen getting emotional. You don't see a lot of emotion from Allen, so when you see it, you know it's real and it's meaningful. Did Jerry Clower play Pro Bowl? I don't think so. I don't think he didn't even he was on the team at State, but did he play a lot? A lot of his routine was him not being very good, right? Am I wrong about that?
Oh, you're right.
You don't know who Jerry Clower is?
Yeah, he's that guy, Mississippi State.
Who is Jerry Clower?
He played that sport. You know what I'm talking about.
Anna, who's Jerry Clower? Do you know? She doesn't have a microphone. What'd she say?
She didn't verbally say anything. She was just mouthing.
Oh. Lindgren possible comeback from injury work Atlanta mid-year. Maybe. Mitch Moreland. He's in the pros right now. Tyler Moore's in the pros. $10 says Terp has never had a girlfriend.
I will gladly accept that $10. Thank you. Venmo me. I have 10. Just give me $10.
You have a girl? Can you prove it?
I had one. I don't have one currently.
Can you prove it?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve C says Mouth of the South. You talking about me? Oh, you're talking about Jerry Clower. Best comedian ever? Well, from Mississippi anyway, Tim Doss. Talking about Jerry Clower. Oh, God, we're about to get on Jerry Clower, aren't we? Jerry Clower is a comedian. and he was very good. I would say his heyday was, I don't know, it was probably before I was born, 70s, 80s, something like that, maybe the 60s. I don't know how far he goes back. But he was very Southern comedian. He was funny. I'll play you some later. I said I'll play you some later.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Jay Hammer says, did she know she was your girlfriend, Terp?
I think so.
Hey, Terp.
Yeah.
We're all family here. Why did it end? How did it end?
I'm telling you.
You're not going to tell me?
No.
How long did you date her?
About 2 years.
Are you sad?
No.
You're not sad?
She was back in college a long time ago.
Oh, yeah? In Maryland?
Mm-hmm.
So she's still up in Maryland now?
No, she lives in New York.
Oh, she lives in New York. Oh, you're going to New York this weekend?
Yes, to see my friends.
Is she one of the friends?
She's in the friend group.
She's in the friend group. She's from Maryland, so she have crab cakes?
She's not. She's from New York, so nice try.
Oh, she's from New York.
Next subject.
Crab cakes. They do crab
Very
cakes.
good.
What are you guys laughing at?
A lot of blue crabs.
Well, I don't know what color they are. How about our women from basketball? Do you think some of them will go pro and have a spot on that list? So, yeah. Victoria Vivians will be in the WNBA, and McCowan will probably be a star in the WNBA. She will be a star. I don't know if Vivians will be that star level. I don't know, but McCowan will probably be the number one pick when she comes out. Let's band together and find Terp a girlfriend.
I kind of enjoyed the single life at 23. That's what I'm doing.
Terp, I can see you, man. Listen, you need to take a girl whenever you can get it.
I think I'm good. I'm all good.
Grace Stacker Good wants to band together and get Terp. Boy, that's going to take a lot of manpower and woman power and prayer and a miracle. I'm more interested in him going to New York to hang out with his friend group that has an old girlfriend in it. It's a weird friend group.
Probably won't see her. So it's gonna
You probably won't see her. Okay. Just going to hang out with your boys, huh?
That's what it is.
Okay.
Originally going to D.C. Had to switch my flight to New York.
Where are y'all going to? What's your plans in New York?
A lot of bars.
Bars?
And fun times.
Bars and fun times.
Football.
Sunday. All right. So let's go ahead and let me
Game,
just translate what he just said. They're going to go out and buy a 6-pack of Natural Light and go to somebody's apartment and play Madden for 3 days. And he's going to come back with an I Love New York shirt and a Statue of Liberty hat and act like he was in New York.
Don't think so.
Josh Winstead says, I'm sure Hugh Freeze can find Terp a girlfriend.
Sure he could.
Sounds expensive. Top 5 Maryland NFL players. Hey, can you answer that one? Top 5 Maryland NFL players?
Sison.
Boomer Esiason. It's a good one.
What was the linebacker on the Chargers? Merriman.
Oh, that's a good one, too. Sean Merriman. Yeah.
I like Torrey Smith.
Torrey Smith, receiver. Played for the Ravens.
D lineman on the Jaguars. He's a rookie this year. I don't know how to say his last name.
So you're one of your top 5 players.
He's going to be. He's not in it yet.
Okay.
He's going to be.
Mike McBrayer says Terp needs a Southern lady. Terp had fried okra for the first time yesterday. Although
I did eat it.
It was fried okra from the Cox cafeteria, so it wasn't really good.
It just tastes like fried dough.
Well, that's all fried okra really is. It's just fried. It's just a vehicle to give you the fried breading. That's all it is. Morgan Maurice Willis says, what just happened? I have no idea. Probably something hilarious and eventful because it's on my show. Landshark hit the button. Did you stop the show? Is the show done?
No, still.
Well, they're all talking like the show's finished. Or the video's gone. Tim Lee says they gone.
It does say interrupted on mine.
Morgan Maurice Willis shakes her head.
It does say interrupted on mine now.
And mine says interrupted too.
But our Wi-Fi has been saying interrupted the whole show, but I went off Wi-Fi and I was on cellular.
Guys, you want to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down out there? Are we finished? Hannah Chalker says Terp's fault. Hannah, this is literally the only thing you do on the show is run this video. And this is the only thing that could happen on the show that wouldn't be Terp's fault. Carolyn Crane Lindley's still here. Forrest Smith's still here. So I think some have gone and some have not. So So some have been lucky and some have not. But to be honest, we're close to time to wrap it up anyway. I'm going to the Cox Cafeteria to get some seafood again today. Did you see that steak I had yesterday?
Yeah.
That was
What
delicious.
was it called?
Chimichurri steak.
Nice.
Chimichurri. Have you ever had chimichurri on your steak?
Is that some sort of sauce? A green sauce?
Yes. Green
No,
sauce.
Never had.
It's unbelievable.
I don't like to put things on my steak.
I don't either. And when she said, "Do you want some chimichurri sauce?" I was like, "No, I'm just going to eat the steak." But then I said, "You know what? Be adventurous."
You got
They
it.
make the sauce, try the sauce. So I said, "Give me the sauce on the side." So I take the sauce on the side, I dip it in there a little bit, and you saw me get up because you were eating with me.
Yeah.
As soon as I did it, I got up and went and got another sauce because it was delicious.
Is that where you went?
That's where I went and got another sauce.
Good stuff.
Ed McIntyre says, "Why am I still here?" That's a very existential question, Ed.
Frozen on.
Why are any of us still here? What are we doing here? I think we're here to ring cowbells and get perpetually disappointed and excited about Mississippi State sports. We're here to celebrate. I don't know what I'm talking about. All right. Did you get the Sonic Extreme Tots? No, I have not.
Who wins a national championship football or basketball first, Maryland or Mississippi State?
Well, Mississippi State.
When are you think you're gonna win it?
Going to win a women's basketball championship this
No, I'm
year.
talking men's.
Oh, now you're qualifying things? You
Yes.
said basketball.
Yes. Well, UConn's gonna win it this year.
No, they're not. Men's basketball, Maryland's down right now, right?
We're not doing too good. No.
Yeah.
But I'm saying we're not gonna win it this year, but neither are you. Who's gonna win it first?
We're not going to win it this year, but we have a better coach than you do.
I don't like Turgeon.
He's been there forever, too.
Yeah, 7th season.
He needs to go.
Yeah, he does.
And in football, you're never going to win it.
No, we're getting better. We had the
Aren't you in the Big Ten East?
yes. Yeah, it's tough. But we do well in recruiting. Just got Canada.
Oh, that's great. But you have to beat Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State every year.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, okay.
4 or 5 years we'll be top.
Taco Bell fries? Are there Taco Bell fries?
Yeah, they give you a little nacho sauce.
I don't know about that.
That doesn't sound too good to me.
Brandon has accepted the same position with Gator Radio effective immediately, says Cordell Knight. No, I'm not Scott Strickland. I'm not Dan Mullen. I'm a true Mississippi State guy and will never be anything but. All right. Anything else? Did you have to drink that into the mic?
Didn't realize I was up, but just me enjoying my tea.
All right. We'll be back Monday, and we'll start working on our plans for our Friday show very soon. We'll be back Monday. I appreciate everybody being here. Thanks for playing along. You've been watching More Cowbell, the Mississippi State podcast presented by SEC Country.